Do you watch Team Sam? You need to do an intro like Team Sam would do. Oh, so they could just hear me say things now.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy the Bard. Happy Sunday! We're here to assemble what remains of the Millenium Puzzle. We have less than a third of the pieces to put together, a majority of it being here, mostly done. I am happy to see all of you, and I would like to say hi to Lynn LeBlanc, Hair Raising Narratives 242, and Dareinger is here with me. They can't.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say they can hear you now, by the way.
Happy Sunday! Don't forget to hit that like button and smash, elbow, uppercut that subscribe button.
Yes!
Don't forget to ding that bell for notifications when we go live on the Nevermore Collective.
Darn right. Welcome to the Nevermore Collective, where today we are continuing our quest to assemble the Millenium Puzzle. And I see Dark Horse Tales. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for showing up to this third installment. Unfortunately, Scariest Stormy will not be able to join us today. But never you mind that, because Dareinger and I have spent the entire week planning out topics of conversation for this stream.
I feel really bad that we did a Team 6 Samurai entrance. He's something else.
He is something else. He really is.
I showed Raven one of his videos, and Raven was just like, no, he's too excited.
Yeah, Sam is something else. Like he is definitely super energetic and like really exciting to watch, though. Like, you know, like he brings a level of energy that that is incredible, and you know, like matching it is like I can't even picture matching it one for one, you know.
I mean, I can't barely match like your energy. Like I'm just over here like half asleep half the time.
Yeah, can't barely match my energy. It's been a long week. What can I say? You know, and everyone in the chat, please let us know how's your Sunday going, because we're interested to know. We here at the Nevermore Collective care about you. We care very deeply. So deeply, in fact, that, you know, like, really, you guys are on my mind, like, constantly. Out of curiosity, can you guys hear me? Like, I just want to make sure, like, because I had to turn off, like, my mic for a while, and I'm not 100% sure that that I'm coming through.
Yeah, I can hear you fine on my end.
Yeah.
I'm watching the stream too, so.
HR says we got to get you some coffee, and I agree. You sound tired.
We stayed up till about 5 a.m. playing EDH last night.
Oof.
So.
Had a few games. Well, we had one game of EDH last night also. Unfortunately, you know, I had to cut it short because I had work this morning. But
we had a case tournament yesterday, and it was 48 people.
Yeah.
And then, like, afterwards, we're just like, let's play EDH. What time is it? 5?
Like 5 in the morning?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
I got up yesterday at like 6, and then the tournament was at 4, went to like 10, 11-ish.
Oof. That is, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of, I mean, like, I love staying up late, that's like my jam, but I do not like getting up early. That's like the opposite of my jam.
Bacon jam sounds really good right now.
Bacon jam does
Not
sound
not gonna lie. You said jam like 3 times, and it's the
good.
only thing I can think of.
It's never too late for jam. It is always a good time for jam.
This episode of Bard Puts Together a Puzzle's been brought to you by Bacon Jam.
Bacon jam. I've never even heard it. Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's I think Wendy's actually has a sandwich currently. It's like the ultimate cheddar sandwich, and it's just got cheddar cheese with cheddar cheese with cheddar cheese and then bacon jam.
Interesting. Bacon jam. That sounds amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Sounds so good. But so let's see. We got new people. I see we have Fearsome Hero is with us, and it's good to see her. She's been awful quiet lately. I don't see her like as often anymore. Let's see. I think that is a good piece there. Yes.
It's a prime piece right there.
Mm-hmm. Now, if only it'll stay in place, which it looks like it will. But it's like really loose. I'm not actually 100% sure that that's where it belongs. Like, I'm sure that that's where it fits, but is it where it belongs? Unless this... I don't know. I'll keep trying. You know how I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, so, we had some topics of conversation that we've been discussing throughout the entire week. And I wanted to see if you wanted to get us started on that.
Yeah, we'll start with the one that you told your friend that we would start, or that you would talk about.
Sure.
With what is a clutch story that you have from one of your duels?
Okay, so I don't know that he's here now, but if not, no big deal. So basically, and let me set the stage for everyone out there that's not familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh! But there is a key difference in the way that monster cards are designed, such that over the years they become more and more powerful, and the older ones are significantly less so by the standards of today. And basically what happened in this duel is that it was back during the sophomore era of Yu-Gi-Oh! This would have been the GX era. And my friend was running a monster that, in my opinion, it was ahead of its time, design-wise. And that was the Venom deck with Venomanaga, the deity of poisonous snakes. Do you know the one?
Yeah, I actually have that built.
Did you?
Yeah, it's not great now.
No, and in all fairness, it probably wasn't great back then either. You know, it had a lot of weaknesses to like ST removal and things like that. But you know, the thing is, if you could get Venomanaga out to the field. Oh, I see Brother Gamma has joined us. Welcome to the stream. But if you could get Venomanaga out into the field, it was impossibly difficult to deal with her. Because she had blanket protection, could recur herself from the graveyard, and what's it called? She had a built-in win condition. And yeah. For those of you that oh, well, there he is. He just joined us in the chat. But for those of you that are not in the know, an alternate win condition as Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a card that basically says, hey, if you do this, disregard everything else, you automatically win. So the way that Venomanaga works is that if she manages to inflict damage to you 3 different times, then it doesn't matter what's going on, that person automatically wins the duel. So he's using his Venomanaga deck, and I'm using a very, very early hero build that was not great. Back in those days, heroes did not do the crazy stuff that they can today. But, so, I've gone up against his deck so many times that it's gotten to a point that Venomanaga is just in my nightmares, you know, because every time she shows up, it's almost impossible to deal with her because he can get her to stupid numbers like 5,000, which in Yu-Gi-Oh is huge. So in this one particular duel, I'd been going through my bulk stuff, and I found a card that in my mind was like, that could come in handy. So I went ahead and put it into my deck, and just like the perfect storm of things happened, such that I have on my field Obnoxious Celtic Guardian. And Obnoxious Celtic Guardian can't be destroyed by monsters with over 1900 attack, and his Phenomenaga is presently sitting at 5,000. So he can't get over this Celtic Guardian, but I have, and just like in perfect succession, I draw the card that I need, and I place it face down on the field. And just like in perfect conditions here, he manages to bounce my Celtic Guardian back to my hand using a compulsory evacuation device. So now my field is wide open, and he can swing for 5,000 unobstructed. So he goes for it. He hits me with 5,000 attack points worth of damage, and I take my first Hypervenom counter. However, to me receiving damage, I chain Inferno Tempest. Have you ever heard of that card?
So you banish every monster in your deck.
Every monster in our decks and graveyards are automatically banished. So Phenomenaga gaining her attack power from all of the snakes in the graveyards is all of a sudden at 0. And there's no monsters to throw in there anymore because they're all banished. But he had bounced my Celtic Guardian back to my hand, so now I have the only functional monster in the duel. Oh man, and
that is great.
Oh man, but I do have to give him the props that he did mention this in the last duel, and I never said anything about it because he ran that Venom deck for a long time. And we always gave him the hardest time because, like I said, Phenomenaga was so powerful that every time she showed up, we pretty much lost. So it got to the point that if he had like his Phenomenon on the field, and he would be like, "Oh, activate offering to the Snake Deity," which would destroy him and therefore chain, Rise of the Snake Deity to summon Phenomenaga, we would just automatically scoop. We would not bother giving him the satisfaction of summoning his boss monster. We're just like, nope. So we've kind of given him a lot of crap over the years for that.
Yeah, that's great. I made a deck based around Inferno Tempest.
Oh, really?
It used to be based around Block Dragon, but people used Block Dragon for no good purpose and got it banned, so I had to banish rock-type monsters a different way. But it was Ancient Guardian is the card name, and whenever you flip it up, it gains 700 defense for every banished rock type. So in the deck, you have a field spell called Canyon, which doubles any damage taken from a defense position. So attack into that after Inferno Tempest and just get inflicted with like 30,000 damage.
Oof. Oh, that would hurt.
It's a great card. I wish it was used more for better.
More for better?
Yeah, more for better, because I speak. It's gonna be like this. I'm gonna be saying just random words in the sentence that make no sense, and you're just gonna have to nod your head and agree that that's what we're doing now.
I will nod my head and agree to it right this second. Hold on just a second. I think I just got like the notification from my headset that it's about to go dead, so let me plug it in real quick so that way we don't end up with Bard incapable of hearing what everybody's saying. Let's see here. Wires, 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 and I don't know which one does what.
Just plug them all in at the same time to the same thing.
Yeah, that'll be wise. In retrospect, if I had been wise, I would have charged my headset yesterday, but I wasn't thinking yesterday. We had, like I said, we also had a night of EDH over here, so. So, what is your clutch story that you got to share with us?
I was kind of hoping Stormy would be here this morning, but like you said, he had stuff come up, so.
Yeah.
My clutch story was actually the first duel where I actually met Stormy.
Oh, yeah?
I had been going to our card shop for probably like a couple months, and then the big happening happened where everything shut down for like 6 months.
Oof.
And the people who I had talked to prior to that had all graduated from college and moved back home. So I just kind of sat down, and this random guy who looked like a hippie cult leader walked over to me and was like, "Hey, you wanna play?" I said, "Sure." I was playing Abyss Actors, which is a terrible deck. It's not good at all. It has the potential to be good, but it's not. And this guy pulls out his ABC Dragoon deck. Turn one, he summons two guys, goes into Verte Anaconda, pitches the Red Eyes Fusion, sends Red Eyes and Dark Magician, puts his Dragoon on board, and passes turn. Okay. I'm sitting here thinking, how do I get past this? I don't have anything to get past this. But I top deck Gamma Seal. And I tribute his Dragoon and summon a Gamma Seal to his side of the field. I then proceed to put my 3,000 attack Funky Comedian on the field. Or no, it's Evil Heals the 3,000 attack. Attack over the Gamma Seal, pass turn back to him. He thinks, wow, this guy is the best duelist I've ever challenged. I have to do my best to win, or else everyone's going to know that I'm bad.
Right.
So he does a combo and Union Carrier, summons out a ABC, and then puts a Union Driver to get another part, and ends on ABC Buster Drake.
Okay.
I'm sitting there thinking, well, I don't really have anything to get rid of that. How am I going to get rid of that? Top deck, Gamma Seal. And I just looked at him and I said, why did you summon another Gamma Seal to your field? And he said, what do you mean? I just slowly put the Gamma Seal down over his ABC Buster Drake. And he looks at me with just like anger and frustration. And he said, yeah, I think you won this one.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
There's some of that anime plot armor that I decided to put on that morning.
Oh man, I love it. And
so that's we've been friends for like a year and a half, 2 years now, and I still won't let him live that down.
I do have to point out that you keep calling him your friend, but you keep telling 242 that you're not friends.
Well, see, that's just to like make people think that we're friends. It's a long con. It's
I see. It's a long con. Okay, it looks like my headset is now in optimal working condition. I think. Let's see real quick. Oh no, I lost Dareinger.
Are you back? Am I back?
No, yeah, you were here the entire time. This was me messing around with the settings from my headset, which, sorry everybody, technical difficulties, but here we are. Let's see. We did have some questions in the chat, I think. Hair Racing Narratives asked, what was your most memorable duel? This would have been back some time. Let's see. My most memorable duel, and this. So I got into Yu-Gi-Oh like back in 2002, whenever it was first out. And a large reason for that was because of a friend of mine who had actually gotten into it before I did, and he really took off with it, you know. But for the longest time, I mean, he was like the Kaiba to my Yugi, basically. And it was a constant back and forth. Like, he would build something and then I would build something else. I mean, we like went through like very experimental phases into like what kind of constructed decks we would do and all this. And we got to this one point where he had built like this deck revolving around like Ryza the Storm Monarch, and the entire deck functioned by bouncing stuff back to your hand. So we had like this huge, this one duel that lasted for so long, and it's just him bouncing things back to my hand and me summoning new things that could punch over whatever he had on his field at the time. So it's just like this back and forth, like, you know, like he'd send my big monster back to my hand. I'd figure out a way to put it back on the field, and then I'd smack whatever he had set up so that it was off the field. Then he would summon something new to send my monster back to my hand, and then I would figure out a new way to put it out on the field, and then I'd smack over whatever he had. And it was like this huge back and forth, and as a matter of fact, like our friend Lord Mordor, who was with us at the time, he's like, this wasn't a duel for to see which one of you was the better duelist. It looked like you guys just wanted to hurt each other, because it was like, yeah, it was one of those duels for the ages, and I remember it very fondly because I kept thinking to myself, I am surprised I could keep summoning the same big monster so consistently.
That's with Stormy and I. It's like if anyone even mentions Light Sworns, we're at each other's throats on who has the better Light Sworn deck. And it's just, we'll play like 7 or 8 games in a row, just like going back and forth on who wins. And it's like, no, I have the better deck. No, I have the better deck. and sometimes it gets heated. Like
it absolutely can. Yes, absolutely.
I'm definitely the better Lightsworn player, and he's just trash. But that's how it goes.
But he refuses to admit it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's just he won't admit it.
But yeah, HR, that was my most memorable duel. It is, especially since my friend was well known for favoring really off the wall strategies, like things that nobody would think to do because everybody would be like, well, that's just stupid, and he would do them anyway and just make them work. And that was the most frustrating part about it, that it's like, okay, this is the dumbest strategy I've ever heard, and it's insulting that it's working so well.
It's Stormy and I have a guy like that. He was actually in the chat last time. His name is Save Shooter.
Right.
He made a horrible Lightsworn deck that is Lightsworn crawlers, and he takes every deck that I love and just turns it into an abomination. Like, he took Cubics and made Cubic Hands. He took Lightsworns and made Crawler Lightsworns. He made like a weird Thunder family stun deck that was just terrible, and then he put Monarchs in it.
Oh,
it's
Lord.
Just like, dude, stop. He's ruining everything.
This is not the way Yu-Gi-Oh! Was meant to be played.
So one of the questions that you have on here that I'm really curious to hear your answer for is, what is your favorite card art?
Okay. This is actually like super simple. My favorite card art, just because I think it looks really, really cool, is Infinite Impermanence. Um, and that's a twofold thing, mostly because infinite impermanence is an oxymoron. If it's infinite, it can't be impermanent. And in the card art, you have the monster Cyber Dragon Infinity, uh, disintegrating, and I one of the things that I have always thought that was super cool is that in every artwork featuring Cyber Dragon Infinity, his tail is making the infinity symbol. I don't know if you've ever noticed that.
I'm looking that up now.
Yeah, every single one, his tail is making the infinity symbol, and in my head, I'm like, oh, this is peak design choice right here.
Wow, yeah, I've never noticed that before. That's
Isn't it? It's amazing. I'm like, and the craziest thing is that like I don't think like every time I bring it up, somebody's always like, I've never noticed that. I was like, it's weird how it just like slides under the radar, but it's there.
it's something.
What's that?
It's one of those things that you don't really think about, and then someone points it out to you, and you're like, well, why didn't I notice that like 4 years ago?
Right? Like now I can't unsee it.
I had, I'm kind of cheating because I don't have a singular favorite card art.
Uh
I have two things listed, but the two things is actually like 30 things.
huh. Okay.
But the first one is Prophecy Destroyer. I don't know if you know what that is,
Uh.
but it's a Mega 10 promo card from like 2012, 2013.
Mhm.
It was when the spell books and prophecy cards came out.
Okay.
But the artist for it was a Magic the Gathering artist. So it has
Really
a completely different look to the picture than most Yu-Gi-Oh cards do.
interesting. No, I was unaware of this.
And then the second one that I have is like OTS vanilla cards. In particular, one that I like is Temple of the Skulls.
I know that one. Yeah, that's a good one. Temple of the Skulls is actually like really really cool. Uh,
So I have that and Prisman sitting on my computer screen.
On just a second. I feel like I'm 2 seconds away from like a big brain revelation. Maybe. Maybe not. I guess not. I thought I had it, but evidently I do not. Unless...
42 has a question. When are you going to start your Only Hands account?
My OnlyHands account is... yeah, how do you know about that? That was supposed to be a secret. Who talked? But, you know, we could, like, do an OnlyHands account. I don't know what I would do in it. Like, probably, like, I don't know. Draw, like, faces on my hands or something. Like the hand puppets that you see. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, videos by Davinator1212.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he has the hand puppet, like, but Dave!
You could do like a Rubik's Cube for X amount of hours.
True. You know, we got
Yes.
into this whole situation by doing a puzzle. We could do like a Rubik's Cube for like so much time, yes.
Fidget spinner would be one that Only Hands could be home to. Fidget spinner videos.
Indeed. I guess I never really considered the possibilities, but now they seem endless. But yeah, what would you guys like to see on my OnlyHands account?
would you like to see on the Only Hands account? Leave a comment. Just like a whole comment section of, I want to see this, I want to see that. People who just click on it. What the hell happened? Why are these people commenting such weird things?
Oh man, this is gonna make me nervous. I'm gonna feel like this is supposed to be an outside facing piece, but it doesn't make sense for it to be. So now I'm like, crap, like did I miss something? Okay, so for now, I think this piece goes here. I think this piece slides in here too easily for it to not belong there. And if that's the case, then technically this would go in the front here, but that can't be the case because then it doesn't fit. Ergo, I must be doing something wrong.
42 wishes to know what type of camera you're using.
Super simple. This is a Ryzen Kio, I think is what it's called. It's and I'll have to post a picture of like how I rigged it because I am this is peak, ingenuity. Like this is me just like stroking my own ego by like how creative I was to make this work, and by that I mean I using it, making it work with like minimal amounts of effort.
Are you subscribed to Farfa? Have you seen his videos?
Yeah, I've seen Farfa's videos.
Have you seen the one where he had everyone like send him pictures of their remote dual setups?
Oh god, the guy with the bicycle cracked me up.
Like when you were just talking about how you'd have to take a picture of your, imagine like the guy with like a turned over sideways laundry basket with a laundry hook and like a ruler sticking out the top of it with a thing just dangling off the top for the camera.
Yeah, it's something like that. Basically, I grabbed like an old I have this old boom mic stand. It's like an arm that holds my microphone in place. But what I did is using Velcro straps, I affixed my camera to it. And it's sitting on this is not like a good desk or anything. It's like a TV tray. So this TV tray is sitting in front of my computer desk with this boom arm attached to the side of it, and the arm is crooking over with the camera velcroed onto it.
It's surviving by nothing but a few strands of Velcro and some broken dreams.
Basically, yes. I've mentioned from the very beginning. I was like, yeah, this camera is on here basically, but by sheer force of will. There's no other explanation for it. So let's see. I feel like there was another piece. This one. How do you function?
Not well.
Clearly, yes.
Oh, you were talking to the puzzle.
I was talking to the puzzle.
Thought you were asking me as the next question. But...
Oh, I see. Let's see. I actually think that this piece is supposed to be in here, which again means that pieces are going to have to come out in order to make it work. Every time we take a step forward, we take 4 steps back, but that's okay. I'm happy to be here with you guys, talking about nerdy things. So this is no trouble at all for me. I do, however, wish I had remembered how these things fit into place, so that way I didn't have to force them out of position. There we go. I think this is how this goes. Yeah, there it is. All right, cool. So these go here. But yeah, so we hit the clutch story. We hit the favorite card art. I guess an easy transition here would be like back in the day, Yu-Gi-Oh cards used to look very different from what they look like now. You know, like monsters actually looked like monsters, and what's it called? It wasn't so basically today it's a very different aesthetic. It looks very cute. You know, a lot of the monsters are only monsters in name. Yeah, to me, like they look like a bunch of like waifu cards and stuff like that. You have a lot of like really cute creatures, like you know, the Melfies, for example, look like they're all an archetype of stuffed animals. So my question to you is going to be, do you think that like there's been like what is your preference? Like the new art style? Do you prefer the old art style? What do you think?
Well, that's a difficult question to answer, honestly, because I like them both, uh, but like the newer art style, I feel is more detailed and there's more of a like idea going into the the card artwork,
Right.
whereas the old cards like Temple of Skulls
Yeah.
that just seems there's certain cards that it's like they they had an idea and they just kind of half-assed it, and
Hmm.
now you have Prisman who looks just like a bunch of candy stuck together.
Right.
I'm not going to complain about it because he looks delicious, but he, he he's not he's not as like well thought out in my opinion.
Right. I hear you. Me
I mean,
personally, like I don't hate it because you know I've always been a fan of anime, and a lot of the cards these days look very anime inspired, and to me that's not a bad thing. You know, I understand that you know like early Yu-Gi-Oh was supposed to be like very horror themed and very different. You know, as a matter of fact, if you've ever read the comics, I don't know if you've ever read the comics. Um, but like Yugi was pretty much like the Jigsaw killer, you know?
yeah,
Uh,
season zero.
yeah, season zero, yes. So he was a very different type of protagonist because like he could basically he would punish evildoers by making them play games in which if they if they lost they would basically die. And so yeah, it was actually pretty wild. But uh, that's something that was reflected in the early card art, I feel, and is not really reflected anymore. But like I said, to me, that's not 100% a bad thing because being an anime fan, like to me, no big deal, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the most memorable thing from season zero is probably where he just sets a guy on fire,
Yeah. Mm.
just sitting in a diner. Guy comes up to rob him. He's like, "Here, pour me a drink of this alcohol." So the guy starts pouring it, and he's like, "I'm gonna put this lighter on your hand now. If you stop pouring the drink, it's gonna light you on fire." And the guy's just like, "Well, okay," and he's lit on fire.
Yeah.
It was a different time.
Yeah, it was a very different era of Yu-Gi-Oh, and it kind of lost its way, but you know mostly I feel like it was watered down just for like the mass appeal, which it's not a bad thing. You know, I don't hate it. I actually kind of like it a lot, and a lot of that for me has to do with the fact that you know I don't feel like it would have had as much of staying power if it had stayed 100% horror. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like they kind of like dumbed it down for the mass appeal, but that's not exactly a bad thing in my opinion.
I think it would be nice if Konami went and actually showed Season 0.
Yeah.
But we would never get that here in America because
No.
of because they would have to like go through hoops to just censor everything.
Yep. Censorship in the States is kind of crazy.
So since we're on the topic of the anime,
Mm-hmm.
you do have some anime questions here.
Do I?
Which this one, I think you wanted it to be an opinion based, but I just was like, there's really only one correct answer.
Mm-hmm.
But you put in a duel between all of the characters' best friends, who would win?
Yeah. Who do you think would win?
Well, it depends on how you like look at him, but Yusaku's best friend, so the Vrain's main character, either AI or Soul Burner, because
Soul Burner was running Salamangrates now.
yeah,
Yeah.
like all of the side that was the one anime of Yu-Gi-Oh that like infuriated me because all of the side characters had so many really good meta decks and they were all just terrible duelists.
Now, why do you think they were terrible duelists?
Because they lost and they shouldn't have lost.
I got you. Okay. This piece certainly goes here, but how we're going to get it there while it's assembled together is a different story here. I don't understand how we're going to do that. Unless it comes apart, which is what I want to avoid.
Hey Bard, are there any new people in the chat that you would wish to say hello to because it's late for them and they would possibly be wanting to go to bed, but they're waiting for you to say hello to them?
Are we talking about MCT?
I may be talking about MCT.
No. Hey, MCT. I'm happy to see you as always. Sorry I don't see you there. It's just I'm using 100% of the brain cell right now.
I did say hi to MCT42. I said it in chat.
Yeah, so I apologize if I didn't say it sooner. Like that's my bad.
But you got a little caught up in the conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, we could write it off as we were purposely not saying hi. That way, she would stick around and listen the whole time.
I would like for her to stick around, that's for sure.
But gotta get your rest.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta get your Z's.
Yeah, you
Gotta go sleep.
Gotta get some sleep. Okay, this part scares me beyond what I can express because best case scenario, it comes back on easy. Worst case scenario, the whole thing falls apart. So let's be super careful with it. But yeah, no, I'm happy to see MCT 100% of the time. And, it is late for her, so I understand. And if I'm not mistaken, she's supposed to be in a different live stream with Lady Spookaria later on.
Yes, I believe that would be Lady Spookaria, MCT, and then that one bird guy. Oh, what's his name? As the Crow Sleeps, maybe.
As the Crow Sleeps sounds familiar. I think I've met him once or twice.
Yeah, I think that's who their special guest is As the Crow Sleeps.
Mm.
So go check them out later. I think it's in a couple hours or so.
Yeah, they usually do like around. They usually do it like what would end up being, say, 8 o'clock my time.
Yeah, so 8 CST, 9 EST?
Something
Question
like that.
mark.
Mm-hmm.
And then we don't say Pacific Standard Time because they know that they know. They know.
They know.
Yeah. But back to me being pissed off about Vrains. Every side character had like a meta deck and they were just bad.
Agreed. I have the Rocket Revolt deck right now, and I'm waiting to turn it into like a good like, you know, into a good drag. What do you call it? Dang it, Dragon Link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's you had Revolver had Dragon Link.
Uh-huh.
You had Blue Maiden who had Trickstars. You had Ghost Girl who had Altergeist. Go Onizuka who had Goki, and then you had Sulfur Burner with Salad. And
Yes.
even now, kind of even like Yusaku, his deck is getting kind of meta with Code Talkers, but it's just like you all have really good decks and you're losing to really bad decks. Stop it.
That's not the way this is supposed to work at all. Yeah, I'm 100% with you on that one. Um, I thought for sure that that some of the duels would go a lot longer than they did because I'm like these are really powerful decks, and mind you, I'm just now getting into like Vrains because I found it on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from what I've seen, I'm like, oh, this would be absolutely frustrating, you know.
Well, it's like
I've lost to Dragon Link enough times to know that Revolver is not playing it right.
yeah, and that's the sad thing is the deck that the main character plays in that series is not good. The real life deck is getting good,
Mm-hmm.
but his in game deck is not good. The side characters decks
Mm-hmm.
were actually how you would play the game. Like Trickstars, you would summon Candina, search Licorice, Licorice effect to bounce Candina,
Mm-hmm.
summon out a Lilybell, and you just keep burning.
Right.
She loses. I don't know. I don't know how you managed to lose.
How do you keep losing? I don't know.
Okay, so you also asked which main villain wins. So I'm guessing that's just which is your favorite main villain.
Sure. Like which one? Which one do you feel wins?
Uh, I don't know if you can call Yuya Sakaki a villain, but he is the villain in Arc 5.
Yeah, he technically is, isn't he? Because it's a multiverse story. So in Arc 5,
And,
yeah, Yuya is both the hero and the villain technically.
and that's. I was watching a video about everything you missed in Arc 5,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that they point out is in every single Yu-Gi-Oh series, they always have the protagonist on one side of the screen and the antagonist on the other side of the screen whenever they show like the duel.
Right.
And the very first duel, the side of the screen that Yuya was on was the antagonist. And I just thought that was like so cool that that just little subtlety that if you picked up on it, you would just instantly know that Yuya's the bad guy.
Is that a real thing that happened?
Hmm?
No way.
Yeah.
Huh. That's actually really freaking awesome.
And that whole series was just a mess, but
It was a mess. Like what's it called? Yu-Gi-Oh is really over the top, and I love every second of it because of it. And as a matter of fact, I can I think that this is a good way to segue into the other question that I had because this hold on just a second. Let me pull up my sheet here with all my questions.
been streaming for like 30 minutes and you don't even have the sheet pulled up yet.
I do not. Let's see. One of the things that I wanted to ask is, what's one what's one thing that happens in the anime that you wish you would see in real life, and what's one thing in real life that you wish you could see in the anime? And I think that our answer for the real life thing that transfers to the anime is the same, which is we kind of wish that characters who use good decks would use them good. And,
Yeah.
so there's that. But one thing that I wish that we would see from the anime in real life, and I'm positive you're gonna disagree with me on this, but the anime's really over the top, and I kind of wish that you would see that in life a lot more. Because like every now and then you make a play where you're just like, I got you. And I kind of wish that you could like go full anime mode and scream out like your boss monster summon. And the wind picks up, and what's it called, there's flashing lights and everything. I think that would be awesome.
So basically, what you're saying is kind of what I said, in that you want like actual anime dueling in real life.
That would be super cool. I would enjoy that a lot, yes.
Just like you summon out a blue eyes white dragon, and the card comes to life in front of you, and there's just lights and flare all over the place, and then the dragon breaks through the ceiling of the building, and you get kicked out because they're like, hey, that's property damage.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that would be cool. And you know what? Property can take one for the team on this one. I feel like insurance for like property ownership would skyrocket.
You'd have like dueling insurance
Yeah.
as like an additional cost for your monthly payments.
Yeah, welcome to Domino City. Your dual insurance quote is attached. But yeah, I honestly like. I think that would be super cool. It's unlikely that it's something that will ever happen. As a matter of fact, I would bet money that it will not. But
Lights, flare, your opponent having an epileptic seizure.
yeah, like all of it. I would love it all. Let's see here.
You have, who is a character in the show that you feel is overhyped?
Yeah, I would love to hear your opinion on this one. Who do you feel is overhyped?
Well, that's a good question. Um, Most of the protagonists aren't really that great.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were to take them out of the main seat and take away their plot armor, they're just not good. Their decks are not good.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to say like a majority of the protagonists, like the number one head honchos, are just way overhyped as far as characters go.
Okay. I can tell you 100% I can tell you with 100% certainty who I think is overhyped, and I have a way to prove that she is overhyped. And
and Professor Banner from GX, him being like one of the big bad guys, only to be just not good at all. That was bad.
Yeah.
He was super overhyped.
Agreed. Yeah, Professor Banner being overhyped. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, continue.
For me, and I don't know how it got like this, but I think Mai from Duo Monsters is super overhyped, and I'll tell you why. Because from the very first time that she shows up, the show tells us that she is a strong duelist. The show keeps keeps throwing it in our faces. Oh, Mai is so strong. Mai is so strong. Mai loses every duel that she's in. The only time she wins is against the ninja guy in season 2 during Battle City. That's the only time. Every single other time she shows up, she does not win. And against people that like the heroes walk over. She lost to, who is it, Rex Raptor. And during the Waking the Dragons arcs, she loses left and right. I can't think of a time that she ever won. And they're telling us that she's like pro grade,
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I think she was like supposed to be tournament champion, and she was a psychic duelist, and she's so smart and good at dueling, and like you said, she loses every single match.
Every single match.
I hate when they do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, mine never won, dude, and that like drove me nuts because I was like, okay, so she's supposed, you know, you're telling me that she's good, but I'm not seeing it.
Raven actually says that he has an answer for that question, and he thinks that Bakura is overhyped. I can see in like the earlier seasons how Bakura was extremely overhyped because he was just like the weird kid that hung out with them, but he had, like Raven said, the evil entity of the ancient thief in his Millennium Ring.
Right.
But like the only time I can think that Bakura actually like lived up to it was when they did the weird everyone gets sent to Egypt arc, and Bakura becomes Zark or Zork or whatever the guy's name is, and they have to summon the 3 Egyptian gods and then Herorkthi to defeat him.
Yeah, that's the only time that Bakura actually lived up to the hype. Every other time it was like, nah.
I will say that was like a pretty cool series of events where it's like Kaiba summons his blue eyes and Yugi summons the dark magician, and then Yugi's grandpa summons Exodia, the forbidden one, and they're all doing battle with Zork, and then Yugi's like, well, we have to call upon the gods, and they fuse the gods together and bring out the divine creator, Herorkthi, and this is good arc.
Yeah.
That like 2 episodes of that arc, good arc.
2 episodes of that arc made it worth it. It was a very satisfying conclusion, I will say, 100%. Like, I was satisfied with the way the Duel Monsters concluded. Which I guess brings me to a question that isn't listed, but it's something that I have to ask because, you know, I felt like we were cheated in this. And I don't know if Cat Lionheart is in the chat, but Cat kind of disagrees with me. If I'm not mistaken, it was Cat. It might have been someone else. Because I've had this conversation many times because it's something that, like, weighs heavily on my mind. Did you ever see Dark Side of Dimensions? Like, the movie?
Multiple times, yes.
Well, okay.
I have it bought on Steam just because I love the way the art is done on it and everything.
Yeah, no, yes, but absolutely, the art on Dark Side of Dimensions like took Yu-Gi-Oh to a whole new level, I feel. But the one thing that bothers me is that in that duel Yugi versus Kaiba, Atem comes back from, you know, beyond to finish the duel, and I was like, this would have been Yugi's perfect, you know, coming into his own moment. You know? Like, yeah. Where he can finish the duel without the Pharaoh's help. And I felt like he was actually kind of cheated in that regard.
I know a lot of people agree with that statement. Mm-hmm. And to a point, I agree with it. Mm-hmm. They gave Yugi his moment when he actually beat Atem in the final episode and let Atem go off to the afterlife. The point that I didn't like was that they brought Atem back, like you said, to win the duel for Yugi.
Yeah.
Because up until that point, Yugi had done everything by himself.
Yes.
And they kind of robbed us of that. But at the same time, that movie just shows us how, like, obsessed Kaiba is with Yugi. That he builds a time machine in outer space to travel back to ancient Egypt to duel Yugi.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kaiba's not doing well, man. Unresolved issues there. I know that this piece goes here. I know it does.
So I think the last anime question you did have on the list was about the Shadow Realm and whether
Yes.
or not I believe it's a good thing and you believe it's a good thing.
Whoops. Oh, that just happened. Oh no. Ah. Oh, okay. It's okay, everybody. This is under control. Because the pieces that fell off are pieces that I know where they go. I was just struggling with putting them in place. So, not a problem. We got this.
Not a problem. Every piece just comes apart.
Every piece just came apart, yes. Oh, that was frustrating.
We'll be back the next 8 weeks. Tune in as we put all the pieces back together.
Including the pieces of my fragmenting sanity. Alright, we can do this. And I know we can do this because we've done it before. This is a piece that fits together. It just doesn't want to right now because it's being difficult. So, give me just a second to figure out where everything goes. I don't remember where I was. I think I was over here. Yeah, here's where it goes. But yeah, you were saying about the Shadow Realm?
Yeah, just you have whether we think it's a good thing or a bad thing. And
Yeah.
I honestly don't have too much of an opinion on it. It's one of those censorship deals where, as Americans, we're too afraid of people getting destroyed and killed in a 2D anime, not real scenario.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to say that they're whisked off to some kind of hellscape called the Shadow Realm.
Right.
It, growing up, I was like, that's spooky. But now that I know that in the OCG, in the actual Japanese anime, there's no Shadow Realm. It's just those people are dead.
Yes.
It's different. It's like, why are we not able to just say that here? But
Yeah, and like this is a lot of nickel and diming over, like an anime that was marketed at kids. But I do feel like, I don't know. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of censorship, just for censorship sake. But I get it, like I understand. So, am I for it? Not really, but I see why they did what they did. And I feel like it actually could have been handled a lot worse. And yeah, like I honestly do feel like the way that it was handled probably was the best way to do it at the time.
probably most of the well, I mean, with the card game, for instance, cards get censored all the time, but enough time has passed now that they're like, well, you guys can have these artworks for the actual card now,
Yeah.
and they have the Lost Art promos now,
Right.
which looking at them, you'd be like, yeah, I understand why we never got these. Percenatrix is basically wearing no clothes.
Right.
And it's just like a maturity thing, I guess.
I guess so. Yeah.
Like you said, most of the cards are the card game and the anime is like marketed towards children, not people in their 20s and 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Which the card game is actually played by people in their 20s and 30s and not children.
True. I would love, because it says on every booster pack, 6 years and up. I was like, I would love for you to show me a 6-year-old that understands how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because this is a ridiculously complicated game.
But at our locals, we have a kid who is 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the youngest kid that plays. I've been told there was a time where a dad brought in his two sons, and they were like 9,
Mm-hmm.
and the decks they were playing were like a level 4 warrior equip deck and a quote unquote blue eyes deck.
Don't knock the level 4 warriors. That's where I got my start.
Well, this was apparently he summons Axe Warrior and then equips like Axe of Demise or whatever it's called.
Oh,
And
Axe of
that was
Despair.
his play.
Yeah, that's yeah, okay, I got you. But yeah, like it's evolved. Like a lot of it could be just that it's a different game now than it was then. And yeah, a lot of the people playing it, are kind of like the people who kind of started with it. So there's a lot of that going on in there.
Which, I mean, the community's friendly enough that if a new person tries to join, I feel like most of the time you'll be able to find someone willing to teach you how to play.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But yeah, I would not market this to like ages 6 and older. I'd say probably like 13 maybe would be a starting age.
I think 13 would make more sense, yes. Just, yeah, like this is not an easy game to understand. But it's not it is a fun game. There is that. So I will say that. All right. There we go.
Hey, Bard, drainage and Stormy. I'm going to guess that PA is on his phone and auto-corrected.
I'm going to guess the same. I'm pretty sure he knows your name is not drainage. Lord Mordor says, about to head out, just ordered a bunch of upgrades. Oh, yeah. So Lord Mordor yesterday went out and got himself, like, the new Cyber Dragon structures.
Yeah. The Impermanence deck?
Yeah, the Impact Impermanence deck. So, he's actually a returning player. Like, I got back into it before he did. Like, this is a recent thing for him where he's like, oh, you know what? I might want to try out some of the new stuff. And we're having some fun with that because the new mechanics are kind of wild, and this has always been a hot topic. But he's like, pendulums to me are eldritch magic, and I'm just gonna take you at your word that they do what you say they do, because I don't get it, and I get it. Like I was like that at first. Like there's a lot of like new cards that do a lot of new things, and it can be a bit intimidating at first.
Yeah, especially whenever you played in like the dual monster / GX era, maybe synchros, and someone tells you, yeah, these monsters are both monsters and spell cards, and they allow you to just summon however many monsters you want from your hand in extra deck.
Yeah, which back in the what's it called, Synchro and GX era, that would have been nutty. Like, what are you talking about? I can summon any amount of monsters.
I love pendulums. I wish they would get some kind of like change to the master rule to make them not terrible.
I don't think they're 100% terrible, but I also don't think that they're 100% good either.
Having to summon to a link zone really hurts. Especially like if we get Electromite back, pendulums will be so much better. But I don't think Konami cares about pendulums. I think they want to get rid of pendulums.
They don't want to think about pendulums because of all the nightmares that they've induced. And they're not really all that complicated is the thing. Like a lot of it I feel is like people just being like, I don't know what it does and it scares me. But they're like so once you try them out, it's so intuitive. It's funny just how easily the plays just fly.
Well, none of the really like summoning mechanics are difficult to wrap your mind around it, and it always kind of surprises me when someone's like, "I quit because of pendulums." Why? Why did you quit because of pendulums? It's you set 2 cards in your back row,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can summon out monsters if their level is between those 2 numbers.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's actually like super good. Like my Endymion deck is
Mm-hmm.
it's super strong. I don't know what half the cards do, but they're good. They've got a lot of words on them.
They do have a lot of words on them, yes. And Endymion in particular is like the poster boy for what did I just read?
I think he is the number 1 card with the most words on it, with like 180 some words,
Yeah.
which is literally like a full paragraph of text that you just have to read and understand.
Yeah. In like two
And
separate text boxes too, you know?
he does so much for both his monster and spell effect.
Yeah.
He's really good card.
Mm-hmm.
Really strong card.
Yeah. I think it was like on a Team APS segment where they're just kind of like, oh, you know, when you're reintroducing a friend to Yu-Gi-Oh! And they show him Endymion, the Mighty Master of Magic, and he's like, okay, I read this card through, and I still don't know what it does. And he's like, everything. And I'm like, yeah, basically.
Like, we're both judges. I
Yes.
have the deck. I've played the deck. I don't know what the deck does. I just know it does things, and I hope that the card I play is the card that I think it is, because it's too much to read any of them.
Oh man, I love it. Like Yu-Gi-Oh players don't read.
Yeah, that was an issue last night with some of the judge calls. Apparently,
What's
like
that?
people just don't read. Which we had an RC2 judge come in from Indianapolis to judge.
Mm.
The dude was like super cool, super chill.
Mm.
I actually like talked to him about a lot of stuff, and like he was just like, these judge calls are just stupid. They're over like the stupidest little things that should not be judge calls.
Mm.
And it all just boiled down to someone didn't read their effect, and they tried to do something either 2 times when it's a once per turn, or they tried to do a then effect when it was not legal.
Okay. Yeah.
Just gotta read.
Yeah. You know?
Which that's it. I just want to point out, it's awfully amazing that you're a narrator and a Yu-Gi-Oh player, because you have to read the stories to be able to narrate them.
Right.
And here you are playing a game that requires you to read, but no one reads.
Indeed.
I'm looking forward to see that you top the next YCS.
Oh, that'll be the day. Like, I have tried competitive play before, but here's the thing, and this is something that might surprise everyone in the chat. By the way, I did want to say hi to PA. I just realized that I didn't do that. But this is something that might surprise a lot of you in the chat, but I have terrible stage fright. Like, I can play this game as long as I don't have an opponent in front of me. So, like, a lot of the times online play, no problem. The moment I'm sitting across from somebody, that changes. I make some of the biggest rookie mistakes just because I have a player in front of me. And I go to locals routinely, you know? And it's not like, you know, because I win a lot. It's because I'm really trying to overcome the stage fright. You know, like, or the performance anxiety, I guess it would be. But yeah, you know, a little fun fact about the Midnight Bard there.
Raven said he misses his Thousand Eyes Restrict deck, which I'm assuming you played it when it was like relinquished and then Thousand Eyes Idle to make Thousand Eyes Restrict. They've added so many cards to actually make that into like an actual deck that's good.
true. Yes, agreed.
They have Millennium Eyes Restrict now, Relinquished Anima. They've got Millennium Idol, Millennium Illusionist Magician. It's actually a deck that I kind of want to build because it just seems fun to be able to take someone else's stuff and then laugh at them because you took their stuff.
Agreed. Always a fun thing to do.
In and out of Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah. In and out of Yu-Gi-Oh! It's just a good time to steal people's things.
Just like, hey, Raven, where's your bike? It's at my house because they took it. And then he's like, wow, I didn't have a bike, and now I'm just in trouble for theft.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm trying. Go ahead.
What? We're both trying at the same time, apparently.
Yeah, indeed.
I was going to say, I'm trying to avoid the what card can come off the ban list one, because I have like half of the ban list listed under either a serious thing or something I would just think would be funny.
That grass is greener can absolutely come off the ban list.
That would be under the funny one. That is actually the fourth one under the fun list. I just have, it's after Max C, Neptune, and Azathoth.
Yeah.
Just being able to mill like 30 cards and get all of the graveyard effects would be so gross, but so funny. I'd also like to see like Metaverse and Terraforming and Trickstar Lightstage to come off the ban list.
Hold on, Metaverse is in the ban list?
It is limited. Same with Terraforming.
Okay. I was about to say I didn't know about Metaverse.
Yeah. Apparently having up to 6 copies of a field spell is really strong.
No, imagine that.
So that's why Terraforming and Metaverse got hit, was because just too strong to have extra copies of your
field spell.
Field spell.
Yeah. I can see that. I can absolutely see. Let's see here. Especially because, like back in the day, field spells weren't really like that big of a thing. It was like, it gives your monsters a boost. I was like, all right, cool. These days, field spells are like an integral part of your strategy sometimes. And, a lot of the times they give you so much advantage.
Yeah, because if I have 5 copies of Mystic Mine, that's a way higher chance of seeing Mystic Mine in my opening hand, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Just think if we were allowed to have 9 copies of Mystic Mine.
Firstly, I think a lot of people would say that, one extra copy of Mystic Mine is one too many. And, for those not in the know, Mystic Mine is a Yu-Gi-Oh card that allows the person who plays it to play Yu-Gi-Oh, but the other person not so much.
Someone had asked me if I could like teach them how to play Yu-Gi-Oh one time, and I just like had my Mystic Mine deck, and I was like, "Here, play this, and you'll win. All you have to do is play the shiny card, and then you win." And they ended up winning like 4 out of their 5 games that they played.
Nice.
It's not a fun deck, but yet I have it.
Trying to figure out where the best placement is here. So far,
Oh, this
was the part that fell apart. Literally all of this, and I just managed to get it back together. But now there's a piece missing here in the front, and it's driving me nuts.
I wanted to quick clarification for you because you asked last night.
Yeah.
That playmat that I bought, when I said Raven made it was a Raven that Stormy and I know in real life. We have another friend named Raven, and his girlfriend is a really good tattoo artist.
Oh.
And I commissioned her to draw me that playmat.
Very cool. Very cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. They came walking in like 20 minutes after I purchased the IP playmat. I was like, good.
As a matter of fact, like I did want to make mention, I also have like an IP Masquerena playmat, but it's not one that I bring out a lot because, what's it called? On it, it says, like World Championship Qualifier. And I'm like, that never happened. But, but like, like whenever I got back into it, somebody's like, here, have a playmat. And I was like, thank you. And it just says World Championship Qualifier on it. And I'm like, I guess I'm a World Championship Qualifier now. And
but we would have never known that if you didn't tell us. It would have just been like, wow, he was a world champion qualifier.
Yeah, but like I'm an honest person, so it's just like I feel like, and on top of that, I feel like it would cause more problems. Like if I was just like, oh yeah, no, absolutely, I was a world championship qualifier, because now people are expecting me to perform at a certain level.
PA and Raven are just going at it in chat.
Going
out. PA says that we don't endorse thievery unless it's in Yu-Gi-Oh or Skyrim, and Raven's like, we endorse whatever we want. And now they're like fighting, they're just throwing punches at each other.
I endorse stealing. I do not endorse stealing. Yeah, I'm gonna bet that this one goes either here or doesn't go there. Doesn't go here. Doesn't go there. Doesn't go there. So, by process of elimination, here is where it goes. How it fits in place is something that has yet to be determined. And okay. But, no, yeah, like, what was it, I do feel like it would cause more problems than it would solve, because now everyone would be like, well, you're supposed to be really good at this. And I was like, well, you're under the impression that all World Championship qualifiers are strong. As you happen to notice now, my skills are practically non-existent.
I just played Mystic Mindburn. That's how I won.
Played Mystic Mindburn the entire time. How do you fit? Because you do not make sense. This piece has been on my mind since I started, because I'm like, I don't know where it would go. And at this point, whenever a piece doesn't look like it would fit, I'm almost afraid to ask. It's an internal piece, I feel, but like I'm actually not 100% sure. It might actually not be, unless it goes like this. But where would it go like that? Unless, no. Yeah, it's all in my head. Never mind. But yeah. Off the ban list. I feel like, I don't know, my wish list was fulfilled whenever they brought back Mobilize Engage.
You don't want it to be at 3?
I do want it to be at 3, but I see what you can do with Mobilize Engage, and it's really gross.
You can see what you can do with Engage at 1.
Uh-huh.
And you don't think it needs to be at 3?
I think it could be a 3. Yes, don't get me wrong. I don't think that anyone else would agree with me. Is I guess what I'm saying.
I really don't want to go back to toss format because that was just so painful. Having said that, I do have Colossus on a card that can come back.
There's what do you call it? What's the name of that one card? Oh, True King of All Calamities. Only because I never got to play Virtual World at full strength. Like, by the time I got all of my Virtual World stuff, True King was already banned. So it was like, oh well.
Have you played against VFD?
Oh yes, I have. Using my Tri Brigade deck, I went against VFD once, and
you want to put that against somebody. You want to make someone suffer through that pain.
I have no problem with making others suffer. I just don't want to be the one suffering.
You people with your sick sadistic ways.
Like, I don't know. I feel like VFD is an unfair card. I will give it that. No, it's not a fun card to play against, and it certainly isn't a card that I would want to be against. But I guess just once I would like to use it because I never got to, and I had 2 copies, so I mean I was ready to go. So like whenever I got like my second Lulu, I was like, oh yeah, it's all coming together. And then like I kid you not, it was that day when they were like, so it was the day that it came in the mail where they were like, oh okay, yeah, VFD is banned. I was like, no, I was ready.
There's been a couple of times now that I've like ordered cards, and as soon as I get them, it's like either a day or so later they release the ban list, only for me to see that the cards I bought got hit.
Yeah,
and it's just like, why Konami? Why must you hurt me so?
Why do you hurt me when I show you nothing but love? Well,
so I think. Oh, you go. You say words first.
Oh, what was I saying? Words?
I think we both tried to say words, and then PA and Raven are saying that they need to unban Pot of Greed.
I don't want to disagree, but
I will come to Texas and I will beat you.
I'm like, I don't want to disagree. Don't want to disagree, mind you. But I do know that Pot of Greed is not the kind of card that can exist in the Yu-Gi-Oh card game anymore.
See, the sad thing is they gave wind-type monsters a Pot of Greed. It's if you have 2 wind-type monsters, pay 600, draw 2 cards.
Which card is that?
Winged Requital.
Oh, it's the new...
It came out in Brothers of Legend, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running 3 of them in Lyrilisk.
I'm not surprised.
It is a good card, and it's not a once per turn card, and it's probably going to get banned or limited.
I was going to say, like, with the amount of monsters that Lyrilisk can put onto the field, I don't foresee that one staying off the ban list for long.
I would like to see Yatagarasu.
Yatagarasu.
You can't do the Yata lock as easily anymore. I think they could give us Ghostbird back to 1.
Mm-hmm. You can't do it as easily. Doesn't mean it can't be done.
They did give us that another new card. I think it's called Yagen or something. Yowie. It's Yowie, which whenever it is normal summoned, if it is the only card that is normal summoned that turn, it skips your opponent's draw phase.
Oof.
But you can only use that effect once per duel.
Okay, once per duel is not so bad. Yeah,
But
well,
with Yatagarasu, with you not being able to do the whole Chaos Emperor Dragon, destroy Sangan, add Yata, and then just keep summoning it and attacking, like, you don't want to waste your normal summon on Yatagarasu because it's small bird that does not do much damage.
nope. But I don't
And
know. I waste my normal summon on. Actually, no. Yeah, I'm wrong. I was gonna say something that was mistaken. I
I
was.
waste my normal summon on what bard?
I waste my normal summon on Tri Brigade Nerval all the time. But the thing about Tri Brigade Nerval is that it doesn't stay Tri Brigade Nerval for very long.
You hurt me with these statements.
Why?
Why are you normal summoning Tribricate stuff? Isn't it all like, supposed to be special summoned?
Nerval is one of their what's it called, main deck monsters, and
It's the level 1 dude, right?
it's the level 1 dude. And I've found myself in situations in the past where he's like my one card in hand, and I can normal summon him, turn him into a Salamangreat Almirage, and then trigger his effect in the graveyard to go into something else. So, like, Tri Brigade Nerval, not my favorite normal summon, but once or twice I've had to rely on him.
I fucking love that PA has autocorrect. He says, "Do you or Brad think that when they are creating these new cards, the creators are like, yep, this card's getting banned from the first tournament?"
Firstly, it wouldn't freaking surprise me, because they release some stuff that I'm like, why would you even think about this? And the only way that I can justify it is that they know that releasing that card will make it so that you play another card that is going to be super rare, so you have to buy product. So they're like, this is an excellent combo piece, so we're going to ban this one for sure. But it'll make people buy this other one, which is going to make us a lot of money. So, to answer your question, PA, yes, it would not surprise me one bit that they're 100% aware that they're going to ban something right after it releases.
Whether they do so or not is a different question, because we still have Dragoon in the format at 3, and
That's very true. I think the only thing that's keeping Dragoon in place is that, especially now that Phoenix Enforcer is out, is that firstly you have to run a Dark Magician and a Red Eyes Black Dragon and Red Eyes Fusion in your deck. Which, if you draw into any of them, you could build a house with all those bricks. But secondly, there's nothing on Dragoon's text that prevents him from becoming a kaiju.
yeah, it's just like the story earlier.
Yeah,
There's nothing that says that Dragoon is not a Gamma Seal at the same time.
yeah, like the story earlier. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon can very easily become a Gamma Seal. Yes.
But yeah, there. It's a difficult question to just say yes or no to when you actually like take the time to think about it, because there are cards that they've basically have to future proof the card. That's the reason why there's some cards on the ban list, like the Tyrant Neptune and what is it, Starving Venom Dragon, Supreme King Starving Venom Dragon, because they made the card and was like, yeah, this is fine, and then people found a way to summon the card and deal 10,000 damage on the first turn with little to no effort. So they have to actually kind of think about the cards in a way of, is this going to be broken to a point where it is not playable? And then sometimes they say, yeah, we can't make this card. Other times they say, we'll let them figure it out.
It'll be fine.
I would love to see the Tyrant Neptune back in the format. Just
Yeah.
instant fusion away your Ensemblem Nightingale and copy its effect from the graveyard, burn for 5,000 damage, and then attack directly for 5,000 damage.
If I'm not mistaken, that was exactly the way that that was played back in the day.
That is exactly why Neptune is banned.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, yeah, no, we can't let that happen again.
And then you have Supreme King Starving Venom Dragon, which its fusion materials are 2 dark pendulum monsters. You don't have to fusion summon it, you just have to destroy them. So people would summon out 2 of these, instant fusion the Assembled Nightingale, and then use the 2 of them to copy the effect, and both of them would burn for 4k damage.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we will never get a card that says copy the effect of a card in the graveyard without some kind of like massive restriction put on it.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I don't see that happening ever again.
And if it does, the whole community is going to look at Konami and say, "What the hell?"
Like, I can kind of picture that. Like Konami's like, okay, and then you can do this, and the whole community like, bro, bro, stop! What are you doing? Just bring back Exodia. Exodia has never been gone. But surprisingly, even in like the heyday of like dual monsters, Exodia wasn't a deck that people played a lot.
Exodia is actually the only set of cards on the ban list for a non-mechanic reason. I think that's a way to put it. It's the only like set of cards on the ban list for a lore reason, and it's because Exodia is the forbidden one. So you were limited to having 1 copy of each in your deck. That is the only reason why it is banned, is because it's a lore perspective.
I guess I can appreciate that. Yeah.
Why you would run more than 1 of each of the pieces of Exodia, I don't know. It would be extremely bricky. It would be worse than Monarchs, but gotta appreciate that.
Yeah. I I never played Monarchs personally, so like I don't know like exactly how bricky they are. But it's based on what you said, I'm gonna assume that the deck didn't like exactly run smoothly.
Your comment about Dragoon earlier of being able to build a house, you would be able to build a city from Monarchs.
Whew, golly.
They're not that consistent.
Mm.
Yeah, he had like 4 copies of every Exodia piece in his deck, and look what happened. He lost because of Chain Strike. Or
Yeah,
Fiendish Chain.
that's true. He did do that.
They all 3 rare hunters also just cheated. I don't think holding people hostage is part of the game rules. I'm pretty sure there's a no like assault clause in the Battle City tournament rules, and they just straight up like tied 2 people to anchors and were going to throw them into the ocean.
Yeah, that's Battle City though. Like, what about IRL?
I think it still applies. I don't know. I'm not too fond of reading, so I don't know what the policy documents do and don't say about the use of anchors and battling in a duel.
Right. I see how this fits now. I think. I think. I'm gonna keep saying I think until something clicks. Aha. No. No.
There are actually deep draw decks that are Exodia decks, which I have one. It's not great because I don't have it built properly, but people are able to do like a first turn win with Exodia.
Yeah, I lost to one of those a long time ago. It was like a soul-absorbing bone tower mess. Where, like, basically they would just draw their entire deck in one turn. I forget what it was that they had. Like, there was also, like, the Magical Citadel of Endymion one, where you would just, like, build spell counters and use them to power draw cards.
Yeah, there's Royal Magical Library is a card that they use because it's every 3 counters you get a draw card. There's Treasure Panda. There's the Bamboo Swords are an engine that people play in it. Pot of Desires, which is bad, but I've seen people play Pot of Desires and banish one of their pieces, and they're just like, well, I guess I lose. All the pot cards, Prosperity, Extravagance. There's a lot of draw cards that are good for that deck, and it is easy to actually get Exodia. But what people don't talk about and what people don't do is the other Exodia, like alternate Exodia cards. I don't know how you would say it. The erratas, like Exodius and
oh, like Exodius, the Ultimate Forbidden Lord, and Exodia Necros, and those guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I mean, I saw what they were trying to do. You know, like Exodia is like a super iconic monster, and giving him like an option instead of like the constant draw. To me, I was like, that's inspired. But it was my understanding that they were never really, really good.
Well, like with Exodia Necros, that was an anime card. That was actually the boss monster for Gozaburo Kaiba.
Right.
The adopted father of Mokuba and Kaiba.
Yes.
And then Exodius was used in GX by... I don't remember the guy's name. It was... He was trying to get his, like, girlfriend back because she was taken by the Shadow Rider people or something. And he had to sacrifice his, like, pieces of his... I don't remember if it was pieces of his, like, soul or his love for his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what, like, every time he would sacrifice a piece, he would send a piece of Exodia to the graveyard, which would make Exodius gain the 1,000.
It wasn't Aster. I'm trying to think of who it was. Aster.
I can look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Aster used the Destiny Heroes.
Right.
He was the cool guy that came to Duelist Kingdom to challenge Maiden Shmooky.
Yeah, that guy.
Best translated line ever.
That was a beautiful line. I'm not gonna tell you who I'm here to duel, but I will tell you his name rhymes with Schmaid and Schmooky. I was like, God damn it.
GX was there. It was a roller coaster of emotions. You had the Schmaid and Schmooky and all of Alistair's like shenanigans. You had the Dark Riders with fucking Don Zalude being Christopher Walken. You had Jesse with his Arnold Schwarzenegger Amber Mammoth.
I do remember Arnie what's it called, Amber Mammoth.
Just so many things with that anime.
What's it called? GX was wild though, man, because like there was all kinds of things that went on in GX that's like, okay, wait a minute. Like for example, they had a woman that wasn't even like that turned into a tiger.
Oh yeah, the one that Bastion Masala just like fell head over heels for.
Yeah.
And then he was unable to duel.
Yes.
Because he was just so in love with her.
Yes. There was the other lady who was a straight up vampire, like, you know, no explanations, you know, like vampires just exist in the world of Yu-Gi-Oh now, but we're not gonna dig in too deep to it. Stop asking. And there was magic, obviously, like the card game is magical, but then there was also aliens because, you know, that's what Neospatians are.
You're just passing right over the fucking 4,000-year-old ancient Egyptian pharaoh that descended out of the sky in his floating hovercraft tomb to duel Jaden.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what that was. And the guy who used Exodius was Adrian Gecko.
Adrian Gecko.
Oh, there's also the what was it? It was not Laval.
Volcanics.
The volcanic guy who his dual disc was a gun that he just pointed at Jaden and was going to shoot Jaden.
It's quality. The storytelling at its finest is what GX was. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see here. We are coming up on the 2-hour mark, so I'm gonna be wrapping it up for today here real soon. And contrary to what it might look like, because it keeps looking like I'm going backwards, but we are actually making progress. It's just not easy to see because parts have to come apart in order for other parts to go where they're supposed to, and that's just how it goes there, little buddy.
How many parts do we have left to put on?
This many right here. So, like, this is what's together right now. And there are pieces that I know where they go. I'm just trying to figure out the sequence. So this right here is what's left. And Raven asked just now, have you made any progress? The answer is complicated. It is both yes and no. We did hit that wall a while ago where I tried to, apply pressure and it all just fell apart. Luckily, every time that it falls apart now, I'm like, I know where the pieces go. So there's no need to worry about it. It'll go back in place. I'm aware of where the pieces are supposed to be going. It's just crazy that they require so much effort is all. But yeah, so I'm gonna be wrapping it up here real soon. Do you have any parting words for our friends and fans out there, Dare?
Thanks for coming and watching and sitting and enjoying, and hopefully enjoying, I should say, this stream from Bard. Like we said, there's a stream later tonight, Ladies Pucaria and MCT featuring As the Crow Sleeps.
Yeah.
Go watch that.
Yeah.
Support your fellow community members, watch their videos, give them likes, give them comments, give them love. Smash that like button, uppercut the share button, hit that notification bell, and uppercut the subscribe button.
Absolutely. And what's it called? I will be putting out a video on my channel probably tonight. There was like stuff that happened yesterday, so I wasn't able to like do my normal Saturday upload, but probably tonight. If not tonight, then tomorrow at some point. But yeah, Bard has some stuff in the works for you guys, and I hope you will enjoy it. And until next time, I guess we will do a part 4 of this. And we will see you then. Adios, everybody. Bye.
Goodbye.
Remember to subscribe to the Nevermore Collective. We love you.